Welcome to the WeWork Creator Awards in Austin. We are so happy to have you here for, thank you, can I get a woohoo? Ain't this Texas? I know you got a hoot, a holler, a y'all or something. So, for this conversation, it is featuring Tyson Cole, the founder of High Hospitality. He is a James Beard award-winning chef with restaurants you may have heard of. Uchi, maybe? Yes, he has restaurants all throughout Texas and Denver. We also have entrepreneur Whitney Casey. Whitney is a journalist turned tech entrepreneur who is a co-founder of Finery with Brooklyn Decker. So I don't know how many of y'all have seen Clueless, but basically Finery is that app that Cher uses to pick out her clothes. They made it in real life. Like, it's amazing. She'll tell you all about it. This is going to be a great conversation. They're talking about how you can learn how to approach your own brand building. I know a lot of us have companies out here, but how you can approach your brand building for passionate audiences and continue to build a network that's great for you. So please join me in welcoming Whitney Casey and Tyson Cole.
My mom is in the audience, and I know she's thinking, God, she always walks around like Julia Roberts in that movie where she's super awkward and clomps around, and that's me. I'm like, just don't trip. Yes, Tyson, you're here.
I'm checking it out.
You have arrived.
Hi.
I feel this is, I'm used to being a journalist, so I really feel like I'm going to just sit here and interview Tyson because actually he's really the one that has accomplished major things in this situation. But so I'm going to try my best to answer questions, but mostly I really actually want to sit down with Tyson. I've always wanted this because every time I see Tyson, it's only in his restaurant, and then he's sort of dashing by with something that he's like putting together at the table and then leaving. But I also have one thing that I'm going to admit to him by the end of this conversation. So don't let me forget that I have something to admit to him that I've never told him. I think my husband knows what it is. That is pretty intense, and he's actually probably
Bated breath right now.
It's going to make you very uncomfortable, actually.
Really?
So anyway, with that, let's get started.
So, I mean, this is like a two-way street, so I'm supremely so interested in what you're doing right now as far as the Finery stuff. It sounds so badass. Like, I want to know as much as you got to tell.
I know, it's Tyson.
It's like a backstage pass to this awesome concept, so it's...
Tyson's not our user, so it's even more fun to listen to him.
My three daughters are your users, or will be.
Yes, he has a 13-year-old daughter. He has two daughters, but one of them is 13, which is a prime age for when I first saw the Clueless Closet, and that's essentially what sort of inspired this whole company that we started. But his daughter's 13, and I'm showing him how to use the product, and he's like, she will spend hours. And I was like, yes, she will. Please.
I'll do anything to keep her occupied because she's crazy right now.
Is she
Oh,
really?
Yeah. It's freaking Jekyll and Hyde.
What? But is that a lot like
It's a big giant hormone bomb that just went off in your head. Boom.
But that's not like some of the chefs you work with? They're kind of hormone bombs too.
Those are bitches too.
I mean, you do work with a lot of personalities. So just so you guys know, Tyson and I have known each other. I live in New York, but Tyson lives here, and my first date with my husband was actually at his restaurant. So it went really well. And it was actually the best food I've ever had.
First date?
Yeah, first date.
Wow.
I know. I mean, we met once in Austin, and then he took me on a proper date. Like, it was like one of those nights out in Austin, you know, where you're at clubs dancing, Red Fez or something ridiculous.
Back in the day.
Then he was like, I'm going to take you to a really good sushi restaurant. I'm like, oh, yeah, in Central Texas? Sure.
Good call, enough.
And I was a New Yorker, so I'd been to Nobu, and I thought I was so fancy. And I went to this restaurant, I'm like, this is going to be the worst food ever. And it was so interesting and so divine and so, I would say, like, like you said to me before, that you first eat with your eyes. I was shocked at the attention to detail at just the presentation. And then to know, yes, like there was somebody back there persnickety, like fixing every little thing for everyone in the restaurant. Everyone. That was
Right.
this guy. And that was
Sorta.
almost 10 years ago. 10 years.
Yeah. Was it 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow,
It was
we've
10
we've
years
been open
this
for
July.
14 years now.
I know. So he's very good friends with my husband still to this day. And now Uchi is expanding now. They will be 7 restaurants essentially as a group, which is very exciting. And I was asking Tyson earlier,
We're going out of state.
yeah, the next state is going to be
Denver.
Denver. It's pretty cool. I know. So I said, Tyson,
Big leap.
did you ever think that you would have 7 restaurants when you were staging for a chef and doing dishes also?
No, not a chance.
Like, not at all.
No, I fell in love with the people and the food, and I wanted autonomy to have creative freedom to do whatever I wanted to do.
But you were just trying to get through college.
When I first started,
Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to get through college. I was dead broke. I was poor. And
But were you an engineering student? I always forget what.
I studied physics and art, painting. I was a painter.
That makes sense, but physics, I don't understand. I mean, not because I'm blonde and I don't understand physics. Hello. But I don't understand how somebody is doing physics becomes a chef. I mean, it just seems, art, I could see it, but
I never set out to be a chef. I just got a job at a Japanese restaurant and fell in love with the people and the food, and then later on sushi. And it was almost like it was a blessing. It was my calling, and I fell into it and started to realize pretty quickly that it was something that I was needing to get kind of good at. And so I wanted to get better, and then I wanted to be the best. And that's what all started, basically.
But you learned Japanese to do
Hi.
that.
Hi.
I'm hoping that's yes.
Well, I had to because I worked every day for 10 years with 6 Japanese guys.
And they were really serious about it. I mean, they kind of
They were
poo-pooed the
They
American.
were really fucking serious about it.
Yes.
They were serious.
And
Yeah.
they
Scary.
just
They beat me, actually.
to get their respect, right? You had to learn.
Yeah, my sensei, he was hardcore.
Well, what did they think of your Japanese?
Oh, it was terrible in the beginning.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I learned it over time, little by little. I taught them English, they taught me Japanese over time.
But was it your work ethic or that you did learn Japanese at the beginning?
I guess a lot of it was work ethic because, I even tell people today, like if you wake up in the morning, you don't want to go to work, you should quit that day. So I fell into something that I ended up loving, and every day I wanted to get better at it. And so my work ethic was kind of in place because every day I was the first person there, trying the hardest, and there was this big, giant, almost mountain, because to be a white guy doing that was unheard of. And I had white people refuse for me to serve them sushi, and I got fired because I was white once. So it was weird being a minority as a white guy in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, extremely with this.
Right.
But wait, you said something that's interesting, that if you don't love what you do, quit right now. But what about just needing some experience so that you can then know what you don't want to do?
That's a great question.